What's up, Math Brainiacs? Welcome back to Arithmophilia. Don't forget to subscribe. For today's video, we are going to talk about the concept of geometric sequence. Specifically, its definition and how to determine the missing term of a given sequence. But before that, let us be guided of our objectives for today, that we need to achieve at the end of this video tutorial. First, define geometric sequence. Second, find the common ratio of a given geometric sequence. Next, determine missing terms of geometric sequence. And lastly, solve real-life problem involving geometric sequence. Okay, without further ado, let's now start our discussion, starting with the definition of geometric sequence. What is a geometric sequence? A geometric sequence is a sequence where each term is found by multiplying or dividing the same value from one term to the next. We call this value common ratio. Now, how can we determine the common ratio? The common ratio, R, can be determined by dividing any term in the sequence, except the first term, by the term that precedes it. Here are examples on how to get the common ratio of a given geometric sequence. Example number 1. Find R in the next two terms of the given geometric sequence, 1, 3, 9, 27. The first thing we need to do is to divide any term in the sequence except the first term by the term that precedes it. As shown in the video, we divided 3 by 1, 9 by 3, and 27 by 9, and all got a quotient of 3. Therefore, our common ratio is 3. Next, in getting the next two terms of the given sequence, we will just multiply the common ratio, which is 3 to the previous term, to get the succeeding terms. We have 27 times 3 equal 81, and 81 times 3 is equal to 243. Therefore, the next two terms of the sequence are 81 and 243. Let us now have example number 2, find R in the next two terms of the given sequence, 32, 16, 8. Again, the first thing we are going to do is to divide any term in the sequence by the term that precedes it. We have here, 16 divided by 32, and 8 divided by 16. Both will lead us to the answer of 1/2. Therefore, our common ratio is 1/2. Next, let's determine the next two terms of the given sequence by simply multiplying the common ratio, which is 1/2 to the previous terms. We have 8 times 1 divided by 2 equals 4, and 4 times 1 divided 2 is equal to 2. Therefore, the next two terms of the sequence are 4 and 2. For you to practice your newly learned skill on finding the common ratio of a geometric sequence, try to do this task on your own in your notebook. Do the activity 1 entitled, Divide and Conquer, by determining the common ratio and succeeding terms of a given geometric sequence. This time, let's discuss how to determine the missing term of a geometric sequence. Given a geometric sequence with the first term, a sub 1, and the common ratio, r, the general term or the missing term is given by the rule a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r raised to the power of n minus 1. This time, for us to better understand this concept, let's consider the following examples. Example number 1. Find the seventh term of the geometric sequence, 3, 12, 48, 192. Okay, let us start solving this one. In solving this problem, we will be following 3 steps. First, we need to determine the value of the common ratio, by just simply taking any number from the sequence, except the first term, and divided by the previous one. We have 12 divided by the previous term, which is 3, and their quotient is 4. Next, let us now identify our given values. We have a sub 1 equals 3, and which is equal to 7, and the common ratio is 4. For our final step, we will substitute all the given values to our formula and start solving. Substituting the given values to our formula, we now have a sub 7 equals to 3 times 4 raised to power of 7 minus 1. Next, we will subtract our exponents 7 and 1, which will give us 6. So, we now have a sub 7 equals to 3 times 4 raised to power of 6. Simplifying this, we can obtain a sub 7 equal to 3 times 4096, as the value of 4 raised to 6. Lastly, we will multiply 3 and 4096, which will give us the product of 12,288. Therefore, the seventh term of the given geometric sequence is 12,288. Let's proceed to our second example. Find the first term of the geometric sequence, if the sixth term is 3072 and a common ratio is 4. Are you now ready to solve this one? Okay, let's go. In solving this problem, we will first identify all the given and missing values. We have a sub n, which is equal to 3072, common ratio of 4, 6 is the number of terms, and lastly a sub 1 is the missing term. Next, let us substitute all of these given values to our formula, which will give us 3072 equals a sub 1, times 4 raised to the power of 6 minus 1. This time, let us now proceed to our final step, that is to solve for the missing term. Simplifying the substituted formula, we can obtain 3072 equals 1024 a sub 1. Note that 1024 comes from 4, raised to 5, or that is multiplying 4 by itself 5 times. To get the value of a sub 1, we will divide both sides by 1024. Therefore, the first term of the given geometric sequence is 3. Are all these clear, brainiacs? I hope you got all the key concepts of geometric sequence. Now, let us have another activity, for you to practice your newly learned skill, on determining the missing term of a given geometric sequence. Try doing this task again on your own in your notebook. Perform the activity 2 entitled, Missing You, by finding the missing term in each geometric sequences. Good luck, brainiacs. This time, let's us reflect on this question. How can knowledge on geometric sequence will help us solve real-life problems and make our decisions? Let's go and see. For the application. Suppose person X was infected by a virus and it gets to infect 3 persons in a day. Each of these infected persons gets to infect 3 other persons. If this cycle goes on, then how many persons will be infected during the 5th day, including person X? Let's start solving this problem, brainiacs. In solving this problem, we will again be following 3 steps. First, let us identify our given and missing values. We have a sub 1 equals 1, r which is equal to 3, n which is equal to 5, so, we are looking for the value of a sub 5. Second, all the given values will be substituted to our formula. So, we now have a sub 5 equals 1, times 3 raised to the power of 5, minus 1. Step number 3, let's start solving for the missing term by simplifying a sub 5 equals 1, times 3, raised to the power of 5, minus 1. We will first subtract our exponents, 5 and 1, which will give us 4. So, we now have a sub 5 equal to 1, times 3, raised to power of 4. Simplifying this, we can obtain a sub 5 equal to 1, times 81, as the value of 3 raised to 4. Lastly, we will multiply 1 and 81, which will give us the product of 81. Therefore, 81 persons will get infected during the 5th day, including person X. Before ending this lesson, please take note of this. For you to measure your previously learned understanding on geometric sequence, you can answer the 10-item test that I have prepared for you on my Quizizz.com account. How? Just search or click the link in the video description below. Enjoy! This ends our lesson for today. Thank you, brainiacs. See you on our next episode.